Mali. This jihadist actually came from a place called Kasum, and there was a lot of them. Now, this was a coalition of the JNIM forces together with the FLA. Now, the FLA jihadists actually made a video before they launched this counter-offensive. They actually sent the message right to their official platforms and they posted immediately. They launched this offensive. They were inside a pickup truck and they were advancing towards the Sumpi outpost. Now, if they had gone through the main conventional routes, and going through the conventional route means that they actually have to meet some Malian checkpoints before they get to the Sumpi outpost. It would have drawn unnecessary attention, so they wanted to go in a way where they can be seen. So when they were approaching the Sumpi outpost, the FLA joined forces with them. And the surprising thing for me was the fact that the Malians were able to repel these people. If you look at the number of jihadists that attacked the Sumpi outpost, I will actually drop the video after this live. This is going to be a very short live. So I was shocked because they came in with various grades of rifle, PKM, AK-47, whatever type of rifle. Now, the big side of this operation was that they launched 15 kamikaze drones into the Sumpi outpost before they even advanced, and they shot several mortar shells. But all of this was not enough to deter the Malian armed forces. Unfortunately for these jihadists, 92 of them was actually neutralized before they backed off. Now, a colonel who was in charge of this particular outpost, that is Colonel Seidu, has actually gone there and he has congratulated the troops. And they've actually, made a video, they've actually reported. So the colonel reporting and the Malians showing that, look, everything in the Sumpi outpost is under control, has really, really messed up the plan of the jihadists. Because the plan of the jihadists is to come out there and, make video that, because, man, it would have been somehow if they were able to, let's say, knock off that outpost, because I don't know, because they came in with a lot of motorcycles, with a lot of trucks. And unfortunately, we discovered that most of those trucks were new. Most of the trucks were new. Most of the motorcycles they took to that Sumpi outpost, you will discover that there are still nylons covering some of the part of the machines, but everything was actually destroyed on site. Now, the surprising thing was that the Malians actually did not employ a Barracktier drone. They did not involve any air capability for the advancing jihadists. The only thing I know that I'm aware of that the Malians deployed before even the contact actually started was the fact that the Malian armed forces actually, I think they used the recon drone that actually gave them the movement of the advancing jihadists. And man, they really, really planned this. And at the end of the day, they failed, and they will continue to fail. I'm to be honest with you, from most of the operations I've seen, yeah, I have a good day. I have a good day. I'm having a great day. So from most of the operations I've seen, I'm seeing some very advanced, high-level stuff from the Malians as we speak right now. Like, it's unbelievable. Now we are seeing the Malians actually making use of their capabilities to the maximum level. Like some of the vehicles that we've actually seen that has been, that has just been on standby for a while. They're actually using these vehicles like they are using every type of capabilities. And you just, I actually got this video where some of the guys in our intelligence community actually sent me a video where Asimi Goita actually said something. I'm going to post it in the video I'm going to post after this live, where Asimi Goita said the French authorities actually called them and told them to leave the JNIM alone. They said they should leave the JNIM alone, but they can, attack the EIGS, they can attack the FLA, they can attack the JAS, they can attack, they mentioned a lot, ISSP, that's the Islamic State in Sahel province, but they should leave the JNIM alone. It only means one thing, right? That all this JNIM and all of that, they are being sponsored by you know who. right? That's what, because if they can be meeting Assimi Goita and, you know, telling him that, you know, you have to leave our boys alone. And if you look at the whole thing, Ibrahim Traore equally said they came and they said, look, we don't want this war to end. We want to sustain the war. So we are going to sell you the equipment you need. And, you know, we are going to continue to fund those people. So this only leads to one road at the end of the day. The people will start revolting against their government, because the people will start expecting their government to take some type of actions, and they will discover that at the end of the day, their government is not taking any action. So it will now look as if some people are conniving with some people to make these things happen. But unfortunately, it's not the same thing, you know. And these are the type of things you have in my country, where some people will say the jihadists are, you know, that they are fighting Islamic fights. They will say it's a Muslim, Christian genocide. All those things. Look, don't deceive your. Let's not just deceive ourselves, right? Nobody can wake up one day and just say, okay, the next thing I want to go and do is to wipe out a lot of people. No, nobody is that bad. Nobody is that barbaric in Africa. Let me tell you what is going on. For every sect you see, those guys are representing the interest of certain countries in your nation, and you don't know about it. But to an extent, not even all politicians know about this thing. It's some certain critical players that know about this thing, and those critical players will give orders to their subordinates. You know, some politicians are still subordinates to some politicians. So, oh, that's my boy, leave him. So it's orders, right? Some people are, money can really do a lot of things, you know, to some people that lack conscience. So when you see JNIM is representing a certain nation, when you hear EIGS, it is representing a different nation. When you hear Islamic State in Sahel province, it represents a different nation. When you hear, the more you hear them, that means there are multiple players that are interested in your strategic minerals. They are not there because you people are too much or something. No, that's not their business. Their business is in getting different type of things done. But whichever way you have it, they want the people there to be displaced. Now, let me tell you how this operation goes, because I was able to speak with someone that has interviewed some of these guys before, and he said they don't come directly to hit on the people. No, they attack the military outpost. That is the first thing they do. Okay, like this Sumpi offensive that took place today, that actually failed, that led to a counter-offensive from the Malian armed forces that actually led to the demise of 92 of these jihadists, right? Now, you can see that they attacked the Sumpi outposts. Now, they want to send a mental game out there. They want to tell the people that, look, you know what, your troops can, you know, everybody look at the troops like, okay, these are the utmost security line we have. So when the jihadists hit the troops, it sends panic to the resident, like, look, do I still want to stay here? You know, some people will stay back. So if they successfully overpower the troops, that is when they now come back for the people. And you know, there is this thing, there is a particular law that works, that really makes people, you know, touch these people fairly. I'm going to post all these things in the next video so that you can understand how deep this is. They don't come for the people immediately. They first of all want to displace the people. And don't forget, France have been in this country for a very long time. So, and what have they been doing in these countries? They've been making sure that all the places. So ask yourself a question: why was it that France was not even interested in paving roads in Burkina Faso? They were not, because they saw the whole place as a mining field for them. They are not interested in developing these nations. Just let us come, pick up what we can pick, and go back home. They don't care about the welfare. What they did in Niger was actually catastrophic. So the thing is this, right? So when when the people now start fighting back, you know, you now start hearing different names here and there. And sometimes you will hear that the ISSP, like what is going on right now in the Sahel, the Islamic State in West Africa, in Sahel province, is actually fighting against the JNIM. And in this skirmish, they are deleting themselves In fact, the number has been unbelievable. Even their sources are taking it. But you have more PR from the JNIM sources because, you know, these Western guys, they really fund their PR, and, you know, they really got some guys that can do a very fantastic job for them. So they are really giving a lot of reports. But the reason why they are fighting against themselves is this, right? It's not because at the end of the day, they are mujahids, right? So if you are a mujahid, it means you are a holy warrior. So when a holy warrior and another holy warrior meet themselves, they are supposed to unite, right? Because they say they are, because one thing you will hear this guy say is that when they are on the line of contact, you will hear Allahu Akbar. So when you meet yourself as brothers in arms, you should hug yourself. So ask yourself the question, why do they meet themselves and they just start exchanging fire? It is because everywhere they meet and they contest, it is because there is a critical strategic interest they have in that place, and it is not because it is of their interest. It's not a battle for supremacy or something. It is because it is the objective that the funders have given to them, that this place is critical to us and we want you to dominate this place. So if they end up meeting another group of mujahids there, so the whole mujahideen thing is going to go out of the window. But the population believes that, oh, these people are all Muslims, so everybody easily feel like, oh, it's a war of religion or something. It has nothing to do with religion. It has. So you hear your, so sometimes, yeah, you see this whole thing, the democratic government in the Sahel messed it up. You see, this thing has been going on before now. Oh. They messed it up for these guys that are here to repair everything. So for you now that your democratic government is still playing hide and seek game with all these colonialists, just know that you are in a very long game, because by the time you start your repair operation, oh my goodness, you will realize that it's not really something small. It's a deep game, because sometimes you hear that, oh, so country has borrowed your politicians a certain loan. That is one critical question I want you to be asking yourself. They will tell you that they've given so billion of dollars to your politicians. So ask yourself, where is this money? And suddenly you will just hear that your politicians have given so billion to the poorest people in the society. Number one question, who are the poorest people? Does the poorest people in the society, do they have bank accounts? You will just hear that they borrowed this loan and this and that, and they continue to borrow them that loan. Where is the loan? What project can you see? You can't see nothing. And they will continue. You just think, where? How are they paying back this loan? So, and after you hear that they borrow some loan, you hear that another group have already started operation in your country. let me give you one funny thing that happened recently. You know, Emmanuel Macron has been dancing. He has been dancing at Tilogu dance with the Nigerian political this thing. Emmanuel Macron, right? And recently, you see, he actually started meandering with some Nigerian artists and all of that. And the next thing you heard that JNIM are already in Kayama. they started recording big victory immediately in Kayama. So the question you should be asking is, why is it happening now? You understand? So these people, they've seen these regions as so big, and you know, given what is going on between Russia and Ukraine, they've actually overspent themselves. Their economy is in shambles. So where can we get these resources from? Because the only thing that can get them back to their feet is the resources. So they'll be like, oh man, this team in the Sahel is getting too hot. It's like we're going to check back on our brothers in Nigeria. And in the video I posted, and I'm about to post this night, you know, General Abdurrahman Jihadist said, the jihadists that were chased away from the Sahel have actually gathered in Benin Republic. I'm going to post this, I know my words, right? They were chased from the Sahel. They've gone to meet their family members in Nigeria. If you like, don't repel them. You see, this fight is a fight that everybody must come together. This is a war we must all wage, because if you don't wage this war now, don't worry. Don't worry, they are coming. They are coming. They will start gradually, because that is where they back off to. When the steam is too hot, they back off to these places. So the earlier you say no, the better. Now it's better for Niger that Niger is fighting these people now. You will hear that Niger, see, the beautiful thing about the Sahel is that you will always hear that the forces of the Sahel, they are fighting. When they enter, it is the Sahel troops against these guys. Right? But when you hear that we are giving amnesty, we spent 20 billion on the 6-month rehabilitation of Boko Haram and the rest. you are sipping tea and you are cutting deals with the jihadists. You know, at the end of the day, everything will go out of control. I mean, my country is a very funny country. You know, in Bakori local government, they had a very glorious peace talk with these jihadists, where they actually came with so many media. They came with their microphone, you know. Even a mujahid actually took a microphone and was behaving like, you know. I was like, man, the situation in this country is desperate. A week after, you can't negotiate with these people, because this thing has nothing to do with religion. This thing has everything to do with the interest of those that are funding them. I don't know if a lot of people understand this thing. Now, the people that are funding them, because they are funding so deeply, they have big and huge control and influence over the top politicians. So this thing is instruction that come from top bottom. So everybody will always look for an excuse. They'll be like, oh no, don't worry, it's because of climate change. Even Donald Trump himself said that the climate change thing is a lie. They will say, oh, it's because of climate change, and because there's Harmattan in so place, they have to go to so place to go and graze and all of that. No, these are soldiers of fortune. These are soldiers of fortune. And because they know that in a certain place, the religion that carries the greater population is certain religion, they will, what would they do? You know, they will quickly start saying Allahu Akbar and all of that. Now, if you look at the way some of them shout this Allahu Akbar, you will know that no, these are not really, these people know nothing about religion. You know, you hear someone, when they start saying Allahu Akbar, that's how they start. I'll be like, man, this is embarrassing. Well, this is not the objective. The objective is displace as many as you can. Displace as many as you can. Then you hear people saying that, you know, and the next thing you hear is NGOs start coming in. When they displace the people, the NGOs start coming in. And a lot of people don't get the game. The NGOs will come in and, you know, they will start carrying supplies and food and all of that. Immediately, they will first of all create a sort of IDP camp that will be very far away from that region, but we still within the place. Now, let me now tell you the beautiful thing. Still in those IDP camps, they still get attacked by these same jihadists. So it's like now they concentrate them in those IDP camps. Don't worry, we've kept your food for you. Go out there and grab the food. Go there and hit them up. That is it. So some IDP camps get overrun completely, and you don't even get to hear it on the media. Now, you will hear that the NGOs are driving medical supplies and all of that, and the vehicle will stop all of a sudden. And the next thing you will hear is that they will say they want to go and call mechanics. And before they come back, you know, before everybody comes back to that vehicle, the vehicle is already empty. So who are they supplying? Is it the people that are in the IDP camp that came back to get the supply? But a lot of people, because of their interest, their personal interest. Thank you for the donation, African Union. Because of some people's personal interest, right? They are going to be like, oh, it's religion. No, don't let anybody lie to you, man. Don't let anybody lie to you. There was a man on X that was actually glorifying the jihadists the other day, was actually saying jihadists are their brothers and all of that. And I told the people that were going against him, I said, you see this man talking on this X platform, he doesn't even know anything about this jihadists. And I can guarantee that if they come across him, he might even be the first to get neutralized. He's claiming on Twitter that they are his brothers because he doesn't think beyond the religious perspective. That is how bad some people have been brainwashed, right? But he doesn't understand that these people are not fighting. They have no interest in religion. They have no interest. All they are interested in is the resources. And if you look at their living condition is extremely bad. I posted some details on our Telegram channel today. You could actually see that where these jihadists are sleeping is actually very, very bad. But they continue to give them the latest rifles. The AK-12 is the Russian latest rifle, right? But you will be surprised that these jihadists already have the brand new version of the AK-12. So how are they getting it? Who is supplying it? You start seeing local government chairman and all of that. Politicians are going to visit them in their hideouts, you know, to tell you that they are having peace deals. Why are they having the peace deals? Why should a politician have a peace deal with the bandits? Who sanctioned that meeting? So that is where a lot of people should understand that. You see, some of this loan you just hear out of the blue. Our country followed this loan, and you are not seeing any big project that can actually promote your country. You just hear that, oh, where is this money? You heard America recently say that they gave Nigeria some billions of dollars to fight terrorism. Which the American government know that they cannot account for anymore, because we know we know that our government can no longer account for these funds, right? They are not telling them to account for it. It's a game. It's all a game. It's all a game. America is fighting for influence in Africa. And I can tell you, majority of you only heard about the Boko Haram. That's all they gave out. That the USAID was actively funding the Boko Haram. They talked, and if you notice one thing, whenever America wants to talk, they talk around the Boko Haram. America always try to. We know that there are bandits. We know that there are some people called Lakurawa. We know that there are so many of them, right? But the ISWAP is there. There are so much, and they are now in factions, right? Now the reason why they are in factions is this, right? Let me explain this thing to you. It's like you are an employer. You employ so many employees, because when these people started, they were all under Boko Haram, right? They were all under the Boko Haram set. Then they started seeing the money that was coming in, and you know, they all carry the same rifle, they all have the same doctrine, they go through the same objective and all of that, and they can see that this thing is very lucrative. Well done, Alex Joe. Well done, you're welcome. They see that this is a very lucrative business. We kidnap people, our boys get caught, they get rehabilitated, they get given food. Some are even claiming that they can become presidents, So they started feeling like, actually I can make a lot of money if I create my own gang. So you see them, they broke out. You see the bandits, they broke out from the Boko Haram. Now, because they break out, different people will now come and start negotiating. See, all this faction you are saying, they have people they are working for. Not within the state. But when the steam gets too hot and the impact gets too kinetic, you have some state actors that will go and meet them that are like, please, just take it easy with these boys. So that's what a lot of people are not thinking. These are the things that a lot of people are not seeing. They think it's about religion. It is not about religion. When you hear they are negotiating, so now everybody now wants their government to do what a government is supposed to do, which is to protect the citizen. It is no longer possible. Because, the billions you saw in your account as a politician, they just sent one huge amount of money to you. Maybe you've never been corrupt before, but you just saw a lot in your account. What's going on? And they tell you that, they just, so person said we should give you so money for so. So when the time comes, you cannot even speak again. But what is going on in the Sahel is actually unbelievable. You can see that in that video where Captain Ibrahim Traore actually addressed the families in diaspora. Captain Ibrahim Traore said he knows that so many leaders in Africa hate him. Let me tell you why they hate him, right? They are, see, slaves don't like, let me explain this thing like this. If there are a group of slaves, right? When some group of slaves free themselves and they stop being slaves, the ones that choose to remain slaves will start hating on those ones that choose freedom. Do you get it? So when you hear that so organization is against the Sahel, this one is against that, I will not lie to you. ECOWAS and African Union, they hate the Sahel like crazy. You know, you have some countries still being tied to the colonial bond and everything like that. They still pay the colonial debt and all of that. But when a certain country says no, they hate that country. And the reason why the government, now you will see that the people of Africa want to see, let me not lie to you. If they should go for a clean election for, okay, people of Africa should vote, do they want what is going on in the Sahel? Or do they want democracy? I'm telling you, I hardly will find a country where anybody will choose democracy. There are still some people that will choose democracy. Those are the people that are enjoying the money and all of that. A lot of people want what is going on in the Sahel. But because their government are enjoying so many benefits, they will, no, you know, a military man cannot do this, a military man. Only corrupt people speak like that. Only corrupt people speak like that. So Ibrahim Traore is a threat to so many leaders. And a lot of people, you see, you can see that your government, they find it very, very hard. They'll be like, this is going on, the government have not spoken, the government have not this. You are playing with yourself. You are playing with yourself. Because the government is even working on orders. Do this, is done. Do that, is done. You know, there was a particular revelation that we received from the villagers in Benue State. They said that their boys, that is the locals, they gathered to launch an offensive against the jihadists. And when they launched the offensive against the jihadists, they actually overpowered some of these jihadists. And guess what they said? They said later, the forces came and collected, I don't want to mention the forces they mentioned, they came to collect their weapon. They said they wanted to go and help them to fix their rifle, that their rifle is not working properly. That very evening, they came around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Give us your rifle, let's fix it for you. You know, you can't be working with this rifle. When last did you fix this rifle? Do you think it's still working? Is it giving you any problem? Let's just help you to do the normal maintenance. That very same evening, the jihadists came and neutralized everything. They did not bring back the rifle. They came back after the jihadists neutralized the local vigilantes. And the next thing that happened was that the villagers said it was still the same forces that came to use their pickup truck to transport those jihadists out of that place. If you still think this is a war of religion, if you think this is a war of religion, then you are seriously playing with yourself. This is a war to displace people. This is a fight for resources. This thing has been going on for several years. It's just now taking a new dimension. You know, people never had, we never had anything about terrorism before. You remember that Saudi wanted to build, thank you for the statement, Saudi Arabia wanted to build several mosques in Burkina Faso, and Captain Ibrahim Traore told them, no! That is the smartest president in Africa. I'm telling you, everything they do, they are trying to buy, you know, they are trying to buy your conscience gradually. They will start from the mosque. Then from the mosque, they will start giving you some tips. You know, after taking those tips, the next thing you will see is that They will start coming overtly and covertly. Now, when you want to speak against them, right, you won't be able, because somehow they've impacted your conscience. So anybody that sits here that say, oh, the government should come and save us, and you think the government saves you, oh my goodness. And if you are running a democratic government, you understand, if you are still running a democratic regime in your country, you can never change the regime, because they installed the regime there. Do you understand? They put the regime there. Did you all see the Ivorian election at all? Ah, the Ivorian election was actually devastating. Man, now some of the Ivorians can really see. And a lot of people will think this is Ouattara hating on his people. No, he doesn't hate his people like that. Even him, let me now explain to you, even Ouattara himself wants out of that situation. But there's a way you go knee deep into a situation that you just be like, oh man. And you see, there is this thing that people will say that you know, they will say that you know, you need to come out and confess to your people. Who will make that kind of confession? That they are aware of so do you know how bad the atrocity, do you know how deep these atrocities have been that have been committed? Do you know how deep it had gone? So they will come out and tell the people that they did this. In fact, the people are going to go so paranoid on them that they won't believe it. So now they are left to choose one side. Should we go with the people, or should we go with these guys? Now they know that the guys that are funding them kind of tell them that, look, if you don't behave yourself, we're going to tell this to your people. So they look at this side, they see that, ah man, these people are still giving us an option. They look at the side of the citizens. The citizens are telling them 7 times a week and twice on Sunday that we hate you. So which side do you think they are going to go to? Now let me give you one thing. If they turn towards the side of the citizen, these people will expose them, the funders will expose them. Not only expose them, they will equally launch a swift color revolution or a regime change operation. So you can see that is, look, the best thing you can do is from the start, you have to say no. That is the grace that Ibrahim Traore had, to say no from the very start. Assimi Goïta said no from the very start. And the reason why they had the cojones to say no from the very start was because they've been on the front line. They've bled for their people. Assimi Goïta and Ibrahim Traore were not picked from somewhere. No. These guys actually, they experienced it all. And they saw the realities that the normal civilians don't see. They never ever saw those things. But Assimi Goïta, you see, when these people tell you their experience, you get chopped. If you hear the words of Vladimir Putin, they say, which type of people, which kind of people are they going to give power to next? They said those that are fighting on the front line in Ukraine. Those are the people that are going to rule the country next. Some people will come out and they will tell you they are politicians. Goïta is about the life. Goïta knows these people well. And he's a man of few words. He's a man of few words. People cannot be the same. Ibrahim Traore is outspoken. He was so outspoken to the point that they said Ibrahim Traore talks too much. Is he the only president that talks? So when Ibrahim Traore speaks, can you compare what he says to what our own president says? When our president speaks, like, you just be like, why am I still here? Right? There is no video of Ibrahim Traore that I don't spend my time watching completely. It is because everything that comes from this man's mouth is actually wisdom. It's actually knowledge. So, you know, I continue to give my support to the people of the side. That's the best thing I can do. You know, that's the best thing I can do. You know, and I really, really thank God for these presidents in the Sahel, because they really, really changed our dimension of thinking. You know, I was a brainwashed person before. I watched football, I analyzed football. I was one of the best football analysts though. I've been invited to so many TV stations and all of that. But I never believed that I would leave football. And football brought a lot of negativity to my life too. A lot of people will not understand. But immediately I started getting into Panafricanism, everything turned around. And I did not believe it. Everything turned around. I stopped watching football, not because football was bad, but if you really, really understand the objective, if you really, really understand the objective, you will know that there are some things that are deeper than you can see it. You know, you buy the jersey of so club, you buy the so. You, if you look at the whole football ideology, it's like circus. You understand? It's like the Roman Empire of the past. They have to give people the gladiator show so that they can forget about their troubles. Every weekend that you watch football, sometimes your team lose and you lose your mind, your energy change, it drains you. And sometimes you win, you are so lost in that victory to the point where you forget your own personal problems. Football, now, because there is this thing that they say the reward of passion, your passion for football, they said the reward, now they gave people gambling. A serious addiction that can turn people's life upside down. So when you look at everything from top to bottom, you will actually realize that, look, they are destroying Africa by the day. By the day, Africa continues to get influence from so many directions. You know, they continue to infiltrate from so many directions, and people cannot see it. You know, people cannot see it. But the earlier the better. The earlier the better. And I know every day, you know, we keep working. I keep coming here, I keep speaking. Some days I fall sick to the point where I can't articulate words correctly. I'm not focused. I know I'm not fine, but I'll tell my partner that I still have to speak. She will be like, oh, you are not doing fine. I'll be like, yeah, no, but I still have to speak. Because the objective is to stop us from speaking. And because they want us to stop speaking, if you were here when this channel started, you saw the views. It was absolutely unbelievable. But the moment they tag you and they know that, oh man, this person, if this person goes bigger than this, then man, you know, the bigger someone like me go, the worse it will be for, you know, manipulations and all of that. It will be very, very, very devastating for them. So what they do is that some of the ones that have gotten so big, they destroy the channel, like African Stream. You know, even David Udain said it the last time we had um, our YouTube this thing together. He said they've actually blocked the African Stream. And yeah, I've not been able to speak with the administration of any of the Sahel, but we're working towards it. You know, they speak French and we speak English, so definitely it will be a little bit difficult, but we can actually see people that can speak English. And I was shocked when Ibrahim Traore spoke English the last time. That dude is so intelligent. He actually spoke English when he was talking to the African descent in diaspora that actually came on. Ibrahim Traore actually spoke English, and I was like, man, this guy is just too much. But it is what it is. You know, my biggest objective is that I will be able to help to my biggest objective in life is to see if we can work so hard to the point where some of our brothers outside the country, you know, if we can make Africa great to where some of our descendants overseas can actually look back and you know what, I'm going back home. You know, that is the ultimate goal. That is the ultimate objective. But not a lot of people have this type of objective. So many people are still trying to live and all of that. You know, no matter how bad it gets, we will be here. We will remain here. I am the only sibling of my family that is still here. Yeah, not because the capability to leave is not there, but you know, there's no point, there's no life for me over there. My life is here, you know. So homeland or death, surely we will continue to fight and we will prevail. Thank you. Thank you for your support. So I want to go back to editing the video and I actually post it right here. So